How's she going, folks? A little slow out in the shop tonight, but figured I'd show you guys an oldie but a goodie tonight. This is I believe a possibly late 50s to early 60s truetone guitar. Now, truetone was made by K Guitar Company, the Kay Guitar Company out of Chicago. And they made these truetone guitars for a company called Western Auto. Western Auto was a department. It was a chain store back in the day. You guys probably remember that. Some of you guys my age, at least, and older. I can remember we had a Western Auto locally, a few towns over from where I grew up, and I mean, you could buy car parts in there, you could buy a refrigerator, you could buy a washing machine, a shotgun, a bicycle, a truetone guitar. So they sold these truetone guitars at Western Auto, and K Guitar Company made them, and also, from what I read, Harmony was making some of these too. There's the bridge. This is interesting, though. The bridge, my father happened to stop by the other day. He said, "What do those thumb wheels do?" I said, "I don't really know." I think there was another section that went across, an adjustable saddle, and somebody cut notches into this saddle, so there you go. I got to look into this a little deeper. So, anyways, today I took the neck off this morning, and the reason being is because, I mean, even without strings on this thing, there's like tons of relief already. The neck's bowed, and especially from where the body joint starts to the end of the fretboard, it's like a ski jump down there. So I got to look into that. There was already a gap at the heel, and basically what I did is I taped it all off good, and I went around that with this is thinned right down to nothing, guys. So I was able to get it and start in around the heel and get all that broke loose, which a lot of it was already pretty much loose, but it was still glued on this butt end of the dovetail. So what I did is I just took an iron and a damp cloth and clamped it in my vise upside down, held the guitar over it, and got some steam going up in there. I figured I'd just try it, let it heat up. I did that for a while, and then I started wiggling the neck, just grabbing the neck and wiggling like this. And it started to move pretty quick. Within probably 15, 20 minutes, I had it wiggling pretty good. I didn't even use a clamp that, you'd push, hold the guitar, and they have a screw to push the dovetail up. I just kept working it by hand, and eventually it come up. I think it's made out of some kind of soft wood, maybe popple or something. I really don't know. It's painted, so it's hard for me to tell, but even on the ends, a couple little pieces of the dovetail stayed in. It's inevitable. I mean, when you're doing major surgery like this on an instrument, let's just say this: a lot of bad things can happen. I don't care how good you are at it. that's what the dovetail looks like. There's still some glue and crap stuck in there. The other thing, the dovetail is not exactly centered. It's like, here's the center. It's cut on an angle on the, I don't know, one side's funky, so I got to do some math here and take some good measurements before I make any rash decisions. But as you can see, guys, there you go. So that's sitting right on the fret wires. But you can see the last frets up by my thumb. I mean, it's just bent right up there, up through here. And there's relief in the middle of the fretboard with no strings on it. So, there's a few things you can do here. You could take the fretboard off, which I ain't saying it can't be done. It can be done. It's not always easy. Like I said, a lot of things can go wrong. So you could plane this fretboard, pull the frets, plane the fretboard down would be another option. If you could get the fretboard off, you could put some carbon fiber rods in there, route it out and straighten it out. It may need to get steam straightened as it is. It has got a little twist in it too. So, I don't know if I can get you a good shot looking right down it. There you go, kind of like that, see? So, what I thought about doing too is, that dovetail will still hold the guitar right off the bench. I can slide my hand right under it with it sitting on the neck rest. So it's still snug, But they had this wedge that went on the top. I think it pushed the top down a little right there. It's still intact and it's not cracked or anything, but I think it dipped down. So I may have to, to reset this at the right angle. I'm going to have to split the good and the bad here between that and the heel joint. There's a lot of things that are going to have to be taken into consideration. Another option I've thought of doing, I'm going to pull these bar frets out anyway, because they're done, They're right down to nubs. So when I get them out, I'm going to measure the slots where the tangs went. And I've done this before. If you get some wider tanged fret wire, you can do a compression fret job, which what that will do, say when all these fret wires are out of here, it's just a slab of wood with a bunch of cuts in it, so it's kind of, easier to manipulate it. Let's just say that. It is glued to this neck, but if you put fret wire in there that has wider tangs on it, what will happen is you can get the neck to actually do this instead of this. It's like this now, so I'm going to try to straighten it, maybe steam bend it to get some of it out. But if I put any string tension on this thing with no truss rod, it just goes like this, and the action's terrible. So I may do a compression fret job and try to get at least straight, and it would probably more than likely stay there a lot better. Or if I can even get just a little bit of up bow, and then I could run some different strings till I could get it, some heavier strings will straighten it out. I've done this before, but you never really know how things are going to work out. Irregardless, the frets are coming out. I'm going to do a fret job on it before I get too far. I'm going to pull the frets, see if I can straighten the neck out and the fretboard. And then we'll go from there, guys. If we have to plane it, we will. Whatever we got to do. This belongs to a good friend of mine. So we're not on the clock on this one. This is, this is just something to do. I want to get this going for him. We've played it before. It sounds really good, but it was unplayable. You'd play a couple chords in the first position, first 3 or 4 frets, and it was over. It was just Buzzville and whatnot, it was terrible. So, but it does sound good. And believe it or not, this pickup sounds really, really nice on this guitar. So, there we are, folks. We're up to our eyeballs in it again. But I got a plan. I'm going to take a few more measurements tomorrow, and I'll probably yank the frets out. I'll turn the camera on when I do it and show you guys that little trick. And we'll pull the fret wire out. I've got some fret wire here that I can try, and if it is a little wider, then I'll know. And then I can order some more, and we're in. So that's where we're at right now. Pretty sure we're going to have a good one when we get her all done, though. Okay, take her easy. We'll see you soon.